Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really exciting video because we are going to make whole food plant-based falafel. And falafel is just something recently me and my husband have been really getting into. He is Syrian and his family has always loved falafel, but I figured out a way of making it super healthy and health promoting. So I'm going to share this recipe with you. Generally, when you go out and order at a restaurant, it's deep fried, but of course today we're going to bake it. And we're only going to keep it whole food plant-based, so I'm going to share all of the ingredients. This makes quite a lot of falafel, so if you have a big family, if you like leftovers, follow this recipe. If it's 1 to 2 people, I probably would cut this recipe by 1/3. That made enough for me and my husband for dinner last night, only doing 1/3 of this. But we are going over to family tonight, so I'm going to make a huge portion because it's so delicious. So first you need 3 cans of no salt added chickpeas. I just drain and rinse them. That's the big amount of chickpeas right here. This is really a great amount of beans you're gonna get. So if you're one of those people that, you know, doesn't like the taste of beans or have a hard time incorporating it, like this is a good way of kind of tricking your mind to be getting in all of those beans. So this is 3 cans. You need 1/2 cup of diced onions. I just had white onions on hand. You can use a red onion, it doesn't really matter. You need 6 tablespoons of vegetable broth. You can make it your own, or if you buy it, make sure it's no oil, no salt added, but that's right here. You want to get 1/2 cup of chickpea flour, and the ingredients for the chickpea flour, I usually use Bob bread mill, but the only ingredient is garbanzo beans, so it's, you know, just grounded down chickpeas. This is going to help the stuff stick together, so don't forget this, but it's 1/2 cup. And usually when I check out stuff, I'll check fiber, and if the fiber's high with that being the only ingredient, that's when I feel okay to use it in my whole food plant-based diet. You're going to need 6 tablespoons of parsley. This is quite a lot of parsley. It's so beautiful though. So I don't mind using 6 tablespoons of it. I feel like it adds a lot to this recipe, so you don't want to skip out on that. You're going to use 6 cloves of garlic and 1.5 teaspoons of ground black pepper. So I have that in here. If you are somebody who doesn't like a lot of garlic, you know, maybe cut that in half. What I love about this is that you can customize it again, of course, always to what you like. So if you're not a big garlic fan, you know, cut back on it. We like garlic, and I like all the health promoting things garlic adds, so garlic and onion I didn't skimp out on. The main ingredient to make these falafels taste like falafel besides the chickpea is cumin. So cumin is one of those spices that I feel like people either love or hate. And again, if you aren't a big cumin fan, don't add as much. You can kind of play around with, maybe one time make half of the amount and then you can build your way up. We like cumin here, so you're gonna need 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, which I have right here, and that gives it, I think, the falafel taste that most people recognize this dish by, and it smells really great. So we're pro cumin in my house, but if you, I wouldn't not put it in because it is going to give it that falafel taste, but you could cut it in half if you don't want to overpower it. And if you like cumin, you can add more. So take all of these recipes with a grain of salt, and then you can customize them for how your family likes it. Now to make this, have a little bit of salt. We don't want to add direct salt, but what we do want to add is a tablespoon of miso. I have white miso. This is my preferred salt seasoning that I like to use in recipes. So what you're going to do is you're going to add every single item here into our food processor, and we're going to pulse it till it kind of comes together to be more like dough. And I will show you guys how to form the patties, and that's literally it. You just bake it. And I have a cucumber dill sauce that goes so good that I think is going to be my next video. I'll show you guys what it looks like, but this whole dish takes seconds to make. We're going to bake it. It doesn't take that long in the oven, and it's quick, easy, nutritious meal, and you can do many things to this falafel. Falafel can go in your salad, it can go in a pita, you can eat it as a side or a main dish. So my husband last night put it on whole wheat pasta, kind of like a falafel meatball, because they were smaller size. So what I love is there's really no rules, there's no wrong way of doing a falafel, but you're just gonna add all these ingredients to the food processor, let it pulse for a minute or so until everything's nice, well combined, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all mixed up. As a side note, before I mix this up, I'm not going to put the flour in just yet. I want to incorporate that slowly after this becomes more held together. So just leave your flour to the side for a second while you food process everything in here. So you want everything to be really finely ground together. You could have a couple little chickpeas that you can still kind of make up the shape, but generally it should look kind of like mush. And then you're going to transfer this into a bowl, and we're going to mix in the flour. But it should definitely like be sticking together. And for mine, I still see a couple little pieces of chickpea in here, which is totally fine, as long as like the onion and garlic and everything is broken down by your food processor. Like I said, this makes a lot of falafels, so it's nice. Nice to have leftovers. I love leftovers whenever you're cooking. Makes it easier for the rest of the week. But I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't know if my family, we might not have any leftovers after my family tries this out. You could also add some lemon if you wanted a little bit of a lemony taste to your falafel, but I prefer that cucumber dill sauce as like our topping, and it has lemon in that sauce, so I don't add any lemon to my straight falafel, but that's also an option if you'd like. Okay. Alright, so now that it's in my bowl, I'm going to slowly start incorporating the flour in, and I'll just kind of mix in and stir it up by hand. Once you have everything nice and combined, you want to preheat your oven for 350 degrees and then get a baking pan with parchment paper or some kind of silicone mat so it doesn't stick. So I'm going to go do that real quick, and I'll be right back to make our patties. I have a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and what you're going to do is you're going to, with clean hands, you're going to scoop out the size of your falafel that you want. So you can form these into little patty shapes, and just make them the size that you want. If you are doing this for kids, you might want to make them a little bit smaller. Don't do like super big falafel patties because they would most likely break. But just to show you, that's generally the size that I do for my falafels. And you just want to start lining your parchment paper, and you just take them in my hand and kind of just make a patty, just like if you were doing a burger or something like that kind of shape. Now you can make these into little balls as well if you want, like instead of a meatball, if you want a falafel ball like my husband did last night. That's a great alternative as well. But we want them to brown on both sides, so I personally like more of a patty shape. And you could consider these falafel burgers as well. You could put them on a burger bun with all of your favorite toppings. That's another great idea. It's definitely sticky, but not sticking like to my skin, which is nice, and it's not going to stick on that parchment paper either. And then I like that there's a couple pieces of garbanzo beans mixed in that you can kind of see. I think it gives a nice little bit of texture, so it's up to you how much you want to food process. You definitely want to do enough time where everything's incorporated, but if you still see a couple little chickpeas at the end, that's totally fine. And depending on the size that you're making your falafel patties or balls will depend on how many you get out of this recipe, but I would say this definitely is for more like 4 to 5 people. So like I said, you could cut it into a half or a third and have leftovers, which is really nice. And the next video I will be coming out with is the cucumber dill sauce to go on top of this. I was going to do it all in this video, but I think splitting up into two will be a little bit easier. So in the meantime, of course, you could use whatever seasoning you want. My husband really likes hot sauce as a topping. You could do, like put it in a salad and use salad dressing. You could do ketchup, whatever you like. But that cucumber dill sauce is really nice with this. I think it complements it. It's just been one of my favorite go-to sauces to make. And if you guys want like a dressing and sauce video, not about the cucumber dill, that's the next one I'm coming out with, let me know, because for me that was one of the hardest things, is to find a no oil, no salt salad dressing, or something that, you know, that tastes good, that's not just balsamic vinegar or something that has not that many nuts. So I can definitely do a video on that if you guys are interested. But make your patties and then pop them into when your oven is preheated at 350 degrees. And I'm gonna see how long it takes to bake to make them, because I made them a little bit bigger than I made them ball shapes. If you make them ball shapes, it's 20 minutes. But I will report back after these have been in for a little bit and tell you how it goes. Anytime you cook, every oven is different, so just keep an eye on it. Usually if you're like around that time and you look and see if things are browning correctly, then you're good to go. But my oven is a little bit old. It came with our house, so just be mindful when you're using your oven. Like I said, everyone's oven is different. I just wanted to show you an up-close version of the patties before they go in the oven, and they look really good. And see how you can see a couple pieces of the chickpeas still in there. It's totally up to you if you want to do that or not. But they look really good, smell delicious, and I'll show you guys after they come out of the oven. So the falafels just came out. So what I did was I baked them for 15 minutes, and then I flipped them on the other side for the last 5. So it's 20 minutes. One side will get kind of brown. They're not the prettiest looking food, but falafel isn't the prettiest looking food in general, so I don't really care as long as it tastes good. But these are the perfect size to throw on a hamburger bun and to make falafel burgers. Like, seriously, I think we might do that in our next cookout. But the item that is kind of the showstopper is this cucumber dill sauce. So what I'm going to do is, in the next video, I will try to come out with it before the end of the week for this cucumber dill sauce, but it is so good. Yeah, you're gonna have to try it. Until then, if you make this like today or tomorrow, you know, hot sauce is a great addition to this, or you could put it on a salad and use that salad dressing like I said, but you're gonna want to try this. So I'm gonna go enjoy my falafel patties and some cucumber dill sauce on top, which is just one of the things that I think I was like missing out on, is that cucumber dill sauce. Back before I wasn't vegan, you know, when you go to like a gyro place and they'd give you that sauce, this is what it reminds me of, like that tzatziki kind of sauce. So I'm gonna go enjoy this. If you haven't yet, subscribe. I'd love to have you guys around for when I put out new videos. You don't want to miss that cucumber dill sauce coming out this week. And if you try the falafel, let me know in the comments below if you love it, if you made it into a burger or a patty, or how did you spice it up. I'd love to know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.